I see so many people waste money in AdWords because they don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you really got to look at it from a lead gen standpoint. Does it make sense for me doing this, or should I just pay somebody that knows what they're doing? Because you got like people like Joe Rodriguez. He's in Houston, and he's generating 200 to 300 leads a month.
From YouTube?
Phone calls.
Oh my God.
Like Travis, I've watched your video. You're amazing.
200 to 300 a month?
Yes, you're amazing. Can you come show me this house? Because I want to buy it.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Can you do one of these times? Do it.
No. No.
Welcome back to the Click to Close podcast. I am once again
Travis
Alverson, joined by the legendary Mr. Preston Guyton.
Yes, sir.
Dude, I love this mic every time I grab it.
What is up? That is very... I love grabbing this mic.
I would say cut this, but now at this point we're just going.
It's already, we don't cut it.
If anybody even listens to this podcast,
I didn't realize we were going to add 3, 2, 1 and everything.
I didn't know we were going in. All right. Well, anyway, what are we talking about today?
What are we talking about?
Ooh, we're going to talk about all the things that you need to be successful when it comes to lead generation and generating leads. Right?
Are we doing that one?
I thought so. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, that's good.
Let's do it. Yeah, deal. Perfect.
So,
let me ask you, what do you need? What is your first thing that comes to mind when someone says, Preston, I want to generate leads?
Website.
Website?
Yes.
A good website. Does it matter?
I mean, well, it can be. So what do people want to see?
Mm-hmm.
What would make them want to register on your website?
Yeah.
I mean, what? No, like.
You're
I'm
asking
you. Yes.
Oh, shoot.
Like, would it be download my free ebook?
No.
So what do they want to?
I don't read.
Yeah,
so.
I'm just saying. What would make you want to register on a nice website with pretty pictures?
Oh,
houses.
Yeah, honestly, just houses.
Yeah,
that would be the only thing that would make me want to register on someone's website.
Yeah,
so the reason why I go to.
And the reason why I start there is because I have this conversation a lot and probably talk myself out of signing up a lot of people. But the first thing I go to is, what does a website look like? What does it look like? Because when I'm building ads, we're building ads in Digital Maverick and Easy Home Search and everything else, which Easy Home Search is built, so it converts. But when I'm looking at websites, I look at what is going to happen when we deliver that. So from that ad, when they click on it and go to the website, what does that landing page look like? What happens? Like is there a form that pops up? The best thing I've seen, and I've tried so many different ways, and people argue with me about it all the time, but force registration on the first view.
Really?
Yep. Where some people make a mistake is they will force registration as soon as they land on the website. So it comes from the ad. From the ad goes to their site, automatically pops up something. You don't want to do that because you'll get people that leave right away. Let them click on the first listing or first property, then force registration. And some people don't. Some people say, "Well, I'm going to do it after 2 views, 3 views." Well, the average person is on a site is getting less and less, but probably 2 minutes, a minute and a half.
Jeez. Yeah, that's kind of
so. If you do third listing or fourth listing, there's a good chance they're not on your website anymore.
Yeah.
So if you do, you're going to get some people that leave, but for me, and some people are like, well, I want to run pay-per-click, but I don't want to force registration. Then you're just wasting money, because I've seen the numbers, and like, if I'm generating, say, 100 leads with forced registration, and then if I'm running non-forced registration, I'm probably generating less than 10.
Does this pertain to like all companies, not even just real estate? Like just in general?
It's going to be different. I mean, what we have the easiest way for us to get a contact is forced registration, home seller leads, like a seller valuation tool is a good way to get them. But there's so many of them out there now. But yeah, home, somebody clicking on an ad to see properties, whether it's, you build pages of like foreclosed properties or, whatever it is, waterfront, whatever they're looking, because, in Google is the only, you think about it, it's the only search. Well, there's other search platforms, but that type is the only time you're capturing somebody actually typing something in and searching for it at that instance, right? Like at Facebook, they're not doing that. It's random ads popping up. But they're actually searching that thing during that time. So the biggest thing is you want to make sure whatever they are searching for, to the keyword of what it is, send it to a page that correlates with that keyword. And that's where a lot of like search people fail, is they don't go in and get their keywords set up in a certain way to where it's very specific. And then it takes them to a very specific page that's based on that same keyword.
Jeez.
So the big thing is looking at your website. Make sure you get force capture. Make sure the speed of the site is there.
Yeah.
Simple sites always convert better than sites, that are just have too many options. It's like anything else. I mean, there's so many studies like you give
Simplicity.
Yes, simplicity, but also giving people too many options.
Yeah.
Like if you have, like my wife, if I want her to pick something, I'm not giving her 50 options. I'm going to give her 2 or 3. Like, hey, let's look at these 3 things. Because seriously, though, you think about it, like, and the same thing on a website, if you have all these buttons and all these things, like, where do I go? I just want to click on it. We want them to click on a photo. When they click on that listing, it pops up a registration form. And then from that registration form, they fill it out. And then the same thing when you're, like Easy Home Search thing we focus on is like, and we're actually doing it even more. We're focused on like really making the property details page very, very simple. Give them 1 or 2 options, ask a question to our property. We're just really focused on making it more and more simple.
God,
so number 1,
website. Cool. Then number 2.
So 2 on lead gen, if you're, say you go the ad route, right? You're running Google ads. If you're going to try to do it yourself, and you can do it yourself, but there's a lot of good podcasts out there. Chris Schaefer, he has a really good pay-per-click podcast. He's been doing pay-per-click, I think, for about 20 years or so, managing for different companies. But he has a really good podcast out there. I would listen to that because he actually dives into like answering questions and everything. So if you're trying to do it on your own, there's a ton of YouTube videos now and everything else, but you could build it out. If you start building ads out, what you'll realize is the Google Ads platform isn't the greatest. There's other things like Optio is one. We use Optimizer. You could set it to send you notifications based on, if you like, we'll set spend, right? Like we're spending say 10,000 a month in one account.
Yeah.
So it'll let us know if we're spending over or under, or if we're tracking to hit that number.
Is that what you showed me the other day with like you showed me like a whole chart or breakdown of like your tracking numbers and stats?
It might have been Optimizer, maybe. I don't know. But using something like that, and also when you're setting up AdWords, something to think about, do not allow Google to, like, it'll say, hey, you should add this to your campaigns. Hey, you should do this. Hey, you should add this new feature. Just understand all those features they're telling you to use is most likely going to have you spending more money. And it doesn't necessarily, they'll do like, hey, expand your campaigns or do this or do enhanced conversions, which will generate more leads, but it allows them to move your cost per click up, potentially get more leads, and your CPL ends up being more expensive.
Really?
Yeah. So there's things like that. Just understand Google's there to have you spend more money, and a lot of the things they're doing and adding, it's not really making it any better for you. Like enhanced conversions, it'll pull in different keywords that are similar. You don't necessarily maybe want to rank for those keywords. So just, make sure you talk to somebody that knows what they're doing, even if you're trying to do it on your own. And just, like I said, Chris Schaefer has a good podcast that I would listen to that really, and it's only about pay-per-click.
Got it.
It's all he talks about, pay-per-click, and he'll go in and ask, answer questions. He does coaching on pay-per-click as well. I've actually, through the years, have had a couple calls with him, but he knows what he's doing.
That's awesome. That's sweet. Number 3, I would say you need someone to work the leads.
Somebody to work the leads. Yeah, that's always a good thing, right? Somebody to work the leads.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you do with them after you get them? Like, that's a big piece.
Yeah, I mean, lead gen is. I mean, if you go the route of pay per click, I mean, you need a good website and you need to have your AdWords dialed in and understand there's some things like PMAX. I talk about that could also get a little crazy, like because it's AI based, and if you just got to be careful with it, because I say careful with it, not it's going to like attack you or anything, but it could easily spend a lot of money in the wrong places.
Really? How much does it cost, did you say?
I mean, it just depends. I mean, you could move the budget up or down, but it could suck, it could cannibalize other ads you're running. So you basically have, ads that are doing the same thing, or PMAX is doing the same thing. It could also, I mean, it's built in a way like, hey, I want to get you as many leads as we can, even if that is a lead that's already on your site.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, there's things like that with PMAX, but really just learn. I see so many people waste money in AdWords because they don't know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And you really got to look at it from a lead gen standpoint. Does it make sense for me doing this, or should I just pay somebody that knows what they're doing? Sometimes it makes sense just to pay somebody. Yeah. And just do what you're good at.
Yep.
Because really at the end of the day, you think you're saving and you're not saving because maybe you're focused on, your cost per click instead of cost per lead and cost per click. I mean, that doesn't do us. And, if you're saying, oh, my cost per click is 60 cents, but I don't have forced registration, so I'm getting 5 leads for $100.
Jeez.
Or, or $200, whatever it is. And then obviously, not really part of lead gen, but where do you send them?
Yeah, for sure.
Whether does the IDX have a good CRM, or do you need to use something like Follow Up Boss and just send all the leads to Follow Up Boss and then do everything from there?
Mm-hmm. Jeez.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
But then also look at, like, when you're looking at lead gen, understand that over 90% of the people on real estate sites, they don't register. So just make sure when you're building out your campaigns, because to me, generating the lead is the easy part. Then the work happens after that. So you really got to look at what does that look like after the fact, and also build out campaigns to retarget the ones that did not register.
Yep.
And that could be retargeting on Facebook. That could be retargeting through PMAX. That could be retargeting through display ads or YouTube ads or whatever you're doing. But make sure you build out the lead after the lead comes in. Like, what does that system look like?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's because it's like you leave something in a shopping cart and all of a sudden you're followed around everywhere. That's what you want to be, right? Like, you want to be you want all of a sudden they go on Facebook, your stuff shows up, because then you're moving them to the 7-Eleven for, right?
Not even. Don't ask me. Yep. I agree.
But yeah, so,
you've heard me butcher that so many times.
So the 11 in that is instances or interactions, right? So that is where, they see the ad at least 11 times. It's probably more than that now, but you want to understand the vast majority are not going to register the first time they go to your site in ad traffic. So you want to put your stuff out in front of them and put your brand out in front of them, and they, hopefully they come back.
Yeah. God.
It's all easy.
It's all easy.
But you got to be thoughtful about it too. I mean, people just jump into leads and like, I saw my buddy doing this, I'm going to do it. And they don't really give it thought. Like, there's a lot more to think about than just spending dollars.
Yeah.
And that's it, man.
And that's it. There's
other things you could dive into, like newsletters, email campaigns.
No, I guess that's a good question, because I get that a lot. Like, oh, do you have any newsletters to send? It's like, I can give you a generic newsletter of like whatever, but like it should be kind of more catered towards how your market is. You want spotlights, local spotlights and stuff.
The best converting databases will segment their audience.
Really?
And then they'll message based on that
I
segmentation.
say really, like I have no idea. Okay.
Yeah, they will segment the audience based on that, and they will message that segmented audience based on how it's segmented. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So like the person that's looking for condos and investment properties,
Are you sending them condos or investment properties? Are you sending them?
And also, if they're looking in a certain market, most people are focused on one market, one area. Send helpful content. Don't just send. There's so much copy and paste.
Yeah.
Like if you want to make a lot of money, create a bunch of content, and or if you want to grow your brand, create a bunch of content and just give it to realtors because they won't write unique stuff.
Because why not, right?
Yeah. So you see it like what is that? Keeping Current Matters.
Oh yeah.
How many agents you see share that stuff? And it's they have like a membership or subscription where you could use it, but I mean that's just stuff people just copy and paste and use over and over again.
Yeah, I believe it.
But I mean, come up with helpful content. Speak to your audience. Write, actually make it in your voice. You could use Chat GPT to help, but just edit it because every Chat GPT sounds the same.
Yeah,
you could clearly figure out when it's been written from Chat GPT and just copy and paste it.
More than that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when they don't take out the little asterisks.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. I always message people when I see it, like, hey, take out the asterisks because I know what you did.
Yeah.
I know what you did. Oh, that's funny. Oh, man, that's good.
Yeah, man. I mean, but, really, if you're going to dive into it and do it yourself, which I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to because that's what I did. You're right. I mean, many years ago, I dove into it, and that was where I started and where I've been for the past 20 years. Not running paid ads back then, but I was doing a lot of organic SEO and everything else to generate leads. But just learn and understand. The best learning. I've learned how to do things, back then it wasn't YouTube, but for me, the best learning I've had and is testing, right? Like testing things, changing it up. I mean, if it's not working, don't continue to do it.
Yeah. You got to test and try.
Yeah.
And if you
we're constantly tweaking ads.
A/B testing and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. God, that's why you got so good at it.
Yeah. Always trying to get better.
Always trying to get better. 1% better every day.
And YouTube too, man. Like YouTube's another thing. Like if you, whatever you focus, whether it's pay-per-click or I mean, YouTube is a great option, but you have to, it's one of those things. It's like either, you got to go all in, not just doing that, but I'm saying all in, actually put some effort behind it because you got like people like Joe Rodriguez. He's in Houston and he's generating 200 to 300 leads a month.
From YouTube?
Phone calls.
Oh my God.
Like Travis, I've watched your video. You're amazing.
200 to 300 a month?
Yes, you're amazing. Can you come show me this house? Because I want to buy. It's getting leads like that.
That's insane.
Yeah, I think in March he had, was it March or it might have been February. He had 280 leads come in, and they were mainly phone calls.
Jeez.
Yes. Dude, have you looked at his channel?
No, I know it's huge now.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe this channel could get like this.
Not if people don't come look at her shoes. We'll see.
But yeah, I mean, YouTube's a great asset out there. Just understand the amount of people watching videos and streaming videos. That's why you're bitching because your cell phone is so slow because everybody's streaming video now.
Yeah. Just everybody's on ticky tock.
Tacky tick.
Ticky tack.
Kind of like clicky clack.
Clicky clack. Clickety closey.
Yeah.
That's
all
good.
Right,
so that's great. So I mean, and ultimately, like you need to have this stuff. And you say it all the time.
And if you want somebody to run your ads for you in the real estate, I mean, there's a company called Digital Maverick that can help you out.
If you go to
digitalmaverick.com.
Yeah, you're the guy who's very passionate about it, as you just heard him on the podcast explain. So he can run it for you.
Yep.
No, that's good though. But you always tell people to have your processes in place before you start that, right? Like have your
I mean that's why I jumped in the website, right? Like I wouldn't jump in and say, hey, okay, jump in and learn ads. No, just make sure you have something built out that you could actually generate leads with. You could use Google Forms. I'm gonna tell you, Google Forms are not as good as a website, right? there's Google Forms that you could use to click on an ad. You have to put in your information to what I've seen in those tend to be a lot more spam.
Got it.
Because they're not like with the way we run ads, they actually have to leave Google, go to the website, then fill out the form.
Got it.
So, like a bot traffic, it's a lot easier for them to fill out a Google form. They say it's not, but it is.
Well, dang.
Well, dang.
Well, that's a lot. I love that. That's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
Yes.
This is why I have you, so I don't have to ever dive into that. That's intense.
You don't have to worry about clicking.
Don't have to worry about the clicking. Just focus on the closing.
Yeah.
We appreciate every single one of you. Who was the guy's name that you mentioned, his podcast?
Chris Schaefer.
Well, awesome. Well,
I think it's just the pay-per-click podcast.
Oh, really?
Like that. PPC
cool.
podcast.
We can put it in.
We'll put it in down below.
Drop it in down below. Anywhere else you can find podcasts. Thanks again, everybody. See you next time.